Alright, coming on down here to the Seer, our quote-unquote healer mage type person that this guy does not look like he is ready for combat. He's pretty much he's got a druid vibe going on. I got a stick, I got some antlers strapped to my helmet, found some werewolf teeth, and looks like he's got that 1,000-yard stare from all the seedlings that he had to do to get that set of armor. So, combos get 10% chance to deploy a seedling. We talked briefly about this during the challenge section, but yes, you can just attack and attack and attack, and you'll get a little seedling, which has an AoE heal over time that pops up, which is pretty nice. So, pros and cons. First pro is, hey look, it's the only healing ability in the game that's not attached to a weapon. So, aside from Dagny's heal, leveling up, using a health potion, or using a spell off of a lightning weapon, this is the only other method of getting health back. And that's through innate. It doesn't cost anything, you just gotta attack stuff and suck up the cooldown. Lasts for 15 seconds, probably would notate that on here, and has a 5-second cooldown, also probably notate that on here. I get that this is cleaner and probably helps, but I would like to be able to hit shift right now and get the intricate breakdown for the people that really like that stuff and want to get into the weeds. Me being one of them. And obviously you can hit shift for the ones that are like, I like doing fun things and particle effects and I'm just enjoying the game for what it is and don't want to get into the weeds. Great, toggle it. Toggling's a wonderful thing, especially with UI as well as information and details on any sort of information pieces in games that allows you to quote-unquote literally toggle between multiple markets to where, well, one person would like this and the other person would not like this. How do we capture both audience? Toggle! It's a Boolean statement of true and false. So if it's true, person A likes it. If it's false, person B likes it. So having the ability to switch to two means you have captured both audiences, and it's kind of wonderful. Something quantum computing. Anyway. So yes, seedling's really nice. It looks like there's kind of 3 directions that you can go here. You can either go up into the channel of lightning, where you go towards that, or you go into using Yggdrasil's roots to become a dark application of it, or you can come over here and hang out at base, I guess. I don't know, which didn't really make sense to me at all, but alright. So I do love the Seer. I've played quite a bit of the Seer because I typically like to be a healer when it comes to games, RPGs, because I like filling in a role. That's one of my joys, one of my points of joy that I get out of game is a sense of completion, a sense of accomplishment, and of course I really like the sense of need, where I'm filling in a role in a game where no one else is. So 1, I'm not competing for resources, and 2, I'm the only one that can perform those tasks. So for players that are like that really enjoy those specialization kind of roles, they find quite a bit of solace in the trinity of DPS, tank, and healer. So I digress. Point being, I play a lot of Seer because he's supposed to be the healer, so, or she, since I like using the female body type. Anyway. Tempered. Used to be really, really strong because you just ignore an entire game mechanic. Now you do an aura that reduces temperature effect. This is nice. It used to be great, but now it's just nice. It used to be great in the sense that you could wear any set of armor for any period of days without having to worry about temperature dealing. This you will have to deal with temperature really, really, really late. Probably much later than you still want to be hanging around the world before you head back to Valhalla. But early game is nice because it kind of allows you to skip a phase of armor, allowing you to go into the hot area with just good old-fashioned tier 1 armor, and allowing you to go into the cold areas with tier 3 armor, tier 2 if you get lucky on a hot day. But the point being is that it's really helpful. I haven't actually ever seen the aura have any application to my allies, so it doesn't say how far, and there's nothing in-game that shows you how far that aura works. So you'd think it's global, you have no idea. So it says nearby allies, and there's nothing that indicates that. Probably would be on my roadmap just to clarify what that means. Concept's great. Application, Hearth Coalescence. Generate mana and more HP in the village. Well, having Yggdrasil constantly giving you HP back is a great thing. Kind of. There's really not too much of an application for it. Especially considering how you're the guy that's probably at full health most of the time anyway, because you've been whacking stuff out in the fields. And if you're playing by yourself, then, well, you always have Dagny up. And if you take more than 3,000 damage in under 2 minutes, you probably should head out or switch weapons or something, because Dagny will pretty much always be available to you. So there's really no point to get this. Even the regenerate mana is neat, but not really helpful at all. If this applied to your seed of Yggdrasil, your little seedlings, then that would be really cool. So you get mana and more HP, just making your seedlings stronger. Awesome. I think that is a great skill, and worth putting it into even further. But as it is, being in town generating mana does you no good, because you don't have heated swap. Because typically when you go back to town, you're buying something. And if you're buying a new weapon, oops, there goes all your mana. And if you just as much as switch weapons, just to see what your other weapon equipped is, make sure it's right, there goes your mana as well. And probably you're not going to be hanging around long enough to get all 3 bars of mana. It's kind of handy during the night, because every now and then you'll get an extra proc, but for the most part, really, you're just going to attack enough to where you generate the mana, you won't notice it. So this is effectively kind of a throwaway skill. My 2 pieces of roadmap is 1, ditch it altogether and come up with something better, or 2, apply it to the seedlings so there's actually a purpose to get it. Especially if I'm playing with Tempered, because this says, hey, I'm going to be out in those frosty and fiery areas with my friends frequently. This says, I like to hang out in town. Well, what is it? Am I heading out, or am I hanging out in town? So, this is a very weird decision that I'm not super into, but for the most part, yeah. If it applied to ceiling, wonderful. So, hey look, there's our fire, there's our frost, there's our sword, and then of course lightning and dark are over here. I fully anticipate this to be fully fleshed out further on, where there's a fire and a frost version. And then even in the future, I would be, in my roadmap, once again, this would be replaced with the staff. You actually get your dedicated staff user, who can do staff mastery, being your iron staff. That's coming out in the next season. Wink. So, on my roadmap. But again, not a developer. So, just furthering this out to being, hey look, here's a... I mean, honestly, just flip it. Put the seedling here, put the coalesce here, your skill tree starts here. You go this way, up to lightning and dark. You go up into a fire version, you go down into a frost version, or you go over into staff. That's the full built-out skill tree. Fill this whole sucker up. But, anyway. So yeah, Ice Embrace is nice, just because you have the option to go any of the 4 elements. Fire, lightning, dark. Switch this out with staff, makes more sense. For now, sword. Yeah, why not? Everyone else has sword except for Ranger has that one. Just kidding. It's the hunter that doesn't have sword. So everyone else has sword, so why not? Just chuck a sword in there. Even for now, I'd probably put it as axe, considering how axe has access to all 4 of these elements, and you could do some optimization. But if you get sword, there's no point to get ice. And hey, look, they're right next to each other. It's almost like you want to do that, but don't do that. So, unfortunate for the Seer, can't optimize damage. On the other hand, I will make a caveat that it's okay not to optimize damage on Seer, because he's kind of designed as a support class anyway. Another really neat effect that I probably would even consider chucking Heart Coalescent out with, I'll put the same note on Warden, is whenever you consume a potion, allies nearby get a portion of that effect. Just to sharing is caring kind of deal. So, alright, moving up. Weakening Dew. Hey, this is great. I really like the way this is described. Weakening by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10%. Even say weakens enemy by 2%, and then in parentheses put stacks up to 5 times. So, it's the same thing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. But this works out. I can actually tell this makes sense. reduces their armor and damage. So this just says, hey, I'm constantly applying dark. Does anyone want to walk me through why the dark ability with the 2 weapon durabilities is over there and not down here with the other dark mastery, and the fast revive, safe revive, and sacred revive is up here where the lightning, the whole healing. This is healing, this is debuffing. Why are these not flipped? Oh, here's the lightning tree that I'm all about healing and reviving. Here's the dark tree where I'm all about debuffing. Why am I splitting my time? It's a very odd choice. 100% in my roadmap this would get flipped. The 2 of them would get flipped, one for sure. Absolutely, no doubt. Increased attack speed, thunder efficiency. This all checks out. Yeah, lightning, you know, lightning flowing through your veins. Yep, makes sense. Checks out, looks good. I'm fine with him having more attack speed, because more attack speed means more seedlings. More attack speed means more attacks, which means more mana, which means more healing abilities. And applying weakening dews, awesome too. So, revives, same thing. Put those revives over here. So, yeah, scoot that weakening dew down here. Move the Yggdrasil roots. Actually, leave these right with there. They're great. Stun, damage, dark, perfect. We took something great and we took it in a dark route. Wonderful. Love it. Thematic. Perfect. Durable weapons, no. I again, really not a fan of the durability. I'll again make the same note. Either add a hard mode where your weapons break easier and you really have to be mindful of your weapon durability, or 2, switch these out for something completely different because they're just not useful. There's no reason that you should ever take these skills at all. Noob traps right here and fillers. So down here, fast revives, a great skill that really reinforces the whole medic kind of style. Revive allies interrupted is insanely good and definitely something that you need. Sacred revive I'm not super keen on because well, there's a rune that does the exact same thing, so why would I get the skill point when I can just get the rune? So these 3 probably need to be reworked into something different completely. I know this is a newer skill too, which is kind of rough, but you don't need to make a skill the same as a rune, especially when the rune gives over 50% HP back and is a common. So I'd almost make it an ability. Just while you have your seedling up, you can apply it to an ally that's targeted in one way or another and give them, the next time they go down, they get revived automatically. Have a really long cooldown on it, like the Berserker one, but a better use of this tree down here. So, also, I would be super stoked to see the seedling to have the same properties or same scaling that the main Yggdrasil tree does. So whenever you're in town, you really want to dump souls into making sure that your tree's at 10k, because that's going to make your heal super strong. A really neat interaction that I feel like would be super cool to see what happens as far as player decision shift from, ooh, I want to go keep the tree up because it makes my heal stronger. So, and it kind of has, it builds the bond towards, you can feel like, oh, the tree's healthy, like, oh man, my tree's not doing well. So, but yeah, so Seer's in a good spot, but for the most part, flipping these 2 lines here, reworking Hearth Coalescence to be not attached to Tempered, because it's 2 different things, and one Hearth Coalescence altogether getting switched to something completely different, to where it either applies to the seedling, or it is something completely different, because it's just not good. Get rid of the durabilities, and probably expand these out a little bit further, and then switch this over to staff. So, alright, that's quite a bit of the Seer. Later, buddy. Good. I hope you feel better. Well, that's all I have for Seer for now. We'll continue on further with more of our classes coming up here in the series. I appreciate you for watching if you made it this far, or if this is just the first episode you've been watching, then hey, there's a lot more to be said about this game, and well, apparently I like to talk and I didn't realize it. But hey, thanks for watching Seer. Drop some comments if you agree that they're kind of a full elementalist, or could be better, or maybe you think that the Iron Staff will never actually join us, and that's just some made-up hocus pocus. But then again, this is my roadmap, not what's actually going to happen. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next episode. And as always, just jump on over to that Tribes of Midgard Discord. Send me a message. Catch you in the next one.